I thought my wife was working late, but her secret affair with a mysterious stranger unraveled everything. What I found in her messages will shock you. Part January 15th background check. Hey Reddit. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. Never thought I'd be that guy typing one of these out, but here we are. So, a bit of context. I, 35M, have been married to my wife, Alyssa, 32F, for 7 years. We've been together for almost 10. High school sweethearts. Technically, we met at a friend's graduation party, hit it off, and never really stopped talking. I used to think we were solid. Not perfect, obviously, who is? But we had that easy banter, inside jokes, some real shared history. We adopted a rescue dog together, Buddy, my little rock through all this. Honestly, bought a house a few years back, and for the most part, I thought we were on the same page about life. But you know how people say that hindsight is 20/20ths? I didn't realize it at the time, but things started shifting maybe around the end of last summer. Alyssa got a promotion at her job. She's in marketing for a mid-sized tech company and started working longer hours, attending more networking events, going on business trips to other cities for clients I'd never heard her mention before. I was genuinely happy for her at first. She'd always felt overlooked at work, and finally it seemed like people were seeing her talent. I cheered her on, told her how proud I was. I even picked up more chores around the house to take the stress off her plate. That's what a partner does, right? But somewhere along the way, that warmth between us started cooling. She stopped laughing at my dumb jokes, got irritated more easily, seemed constantly glued to her phone, not like she used to be, and super cagey if I happened to glance at the screen. She started locking it, changed her password, and I'll admit it, I got a weird feeling in my gut. That something's not right kind of vibe. You know the one. I asked her if everything was okay, if I'd done something. She always waved it off with a sharp, I'm just tired, or you're being dramatic, or worse, you don't trust me? I did. God, I did. But that's when the cracks really started to show. Part February 15th, the clues start adding up. So, yeah, things kept sliding. I wish I could say I caught on right away, but the truth is I wanted to believe her. I mean, this was Alyssa, the girl who used to send me texts just to say she missed me while I was at work. The woman who cried during our wedding vows. The person who knew my Starbucks order better than I did. But even the most loyal dog figures out when he's being kicked. The signs were small at first. Her perfume changed. She'd always worn this subtle, vanilla scent, but now it was something heavier, muskier. I asked about it, and she rolled her eyes and said she just felt like switching things up. Okay. Then there were the girls' nights that started cropping up once or twice a week. At first, it was cute. I figured she deserved time to unwind with her friends. But every time I asked who she was with, she'd mumble a few names I'd never heard before. Oh, just some coworkers, or you wouldn't know them. And when I'd offer to drop her off or pick her up, she got weirdly defensive. I'm not a child, she snapped once. Another time, she came home from one of these nights out looking off. Like she was trying way too hard to seem casual. Her makeup still fresh, hair in place, but her shirt was inside out. Inside out. I pointed it out, half laughing, and she froze like a deer in headlights. Then she brushed past me with a quick, ugh, whatever, and disappeared into the bathroom. And then, and I swear I'm not proud of this next part, I started checking the mileage on her car. It was dumb, I know. But I needed something. Some kind of reality check. She'd say she was at a hotel downtown for a strategy meeting with a client, but her car would rack up 60+ miles when it should have been half that. Every time. I asked again. You sure you're working late? She barely looked up from her phone. I told you already. You're being paranoid. And just like that, I felt like a stranger in my own house. Part March 15th, the smoking gun. The night it all came crashing down started off stupidly normal. She said she had another late-night project meeting and wouldn't be home until after 10. I nodded, pretended not to care, and went about my evening, walked Buddy, threw on some Netflix, cracked open a beer. But my brain wouldn't shut up. That little voice in the back of my head was screaming. I had this gut feeling that if I just looked a little closer, I'd find something. So I did the thing I told myself I'd never do, I checked her iPad. Now, I want to make it clear, I didn't go looking for this because I'm some possessive freak. I went looking because I was slowly losing my mind and I needed to know if I was crazy or if she was lying. The iPad was synced to her iMessage. She'd never bothered to unsync it. First thing I saw was a thread with someone named Jay. No last name. Just Jay. And then it hit me. That weird nickname she mentioned a couple times in passing. Jay said this funny thing at lunch today. Jay thinks I'm too type A. I'd assumed it was some work friend, I never thought to ask more. I opened the thread. What I read made my stomach drop so hard I felt physically sick. Last night was amazing. Still can't believe we got away with it. I miss the way you taste. When are you telling him? Her reply, soon. He's suspicious but he won't do anything. He still thinks I'm his sweet little wife. Face with rolling eyes. That emoji. That little goddamn emoji. Like I was just some dumbass joke to her. There were photos too. Them together. Him shirtless. Her in lingerie I'd never even seen before. The kind of stuff she never wore for me anymore. And there it was. All of it. Right in front of me. The affair I'd only vaguely feared, raw, explicit, undeniable. I sat there for 20 minutes, staring at the screen, my hand shaking, heart racing, Buddy curled up at my feet like he knew something was wrong. And I just kept thinking, how the hell did we get here? Part April 15th Confrontation. So now I'm sitting there, iPad in hand, my entire world flipped on its head. I had no game plan. No strategy. Just rage, hurt, confusion. All of it boiling in my chest like a damn volcano. I don't remember standing up. I don't remember driving. But somehow I ended up outside her meeting, a little boutique hotel on the edge of town. Not even the downtown area she claimed to be in. Her car was in the lot. I parked across from it and just stared at it for a second. Then I texted her. Me, you still at the office? Alyssa, yep. Just wrapping up now. Might be a late one. Right? Sure. So I walk into the hotel, heart pounding like a jackhammer, hands ice cold. I don't even know what I was expecting. Maybe I hoped I was wrong. That I'd misunderstood something. But deep down I knew. I asked the front desk if they had a guest named Jay staying there. Receptionist barely blinked. Room 203. No hesitation. I took the stairs 2 at a time. I was shaking so bad I had to wipe my palms on my jeans before I knocked on the door. And when it opened, there she was. In a robe. Hair damp. Makeup smudged in a way that had nothing to do with crying. And behind her, this smug-looking, gym bro-type dude, maybe early 40s, designer stubble, no shirt, holding a glass of wine like he owned the damn place. She froze. I said one word, seriously. Dead silence. Jay actually smirked. Like this was a joke. Like I was the punchline. Alyssa finally spoke, it's not what it looks like. I actually laughed. Loud. It wasn't a real laugh, more like a cracked open scream. Are you ing kidding me? She tried stepping into the hallway, shutting the door behind her like that would erase what I just seen. Let's just talk about this, okay? You're being really dramatic. I couldn't believe it. The gaslighting even now. Dramatic? I said. I read your messages. I saw the photos. I know. She didn't even deny it. Just crossed her arms and said, well, maybe if you'd paid more attention to me instead of your precious dog and your boring little routines, I wouldn't have had to find someone else. And that was it. The switch flipped. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time in years I didn't see the woman I loved. I saw someone else. Someone cold. Arrogant. A liar in silk. I turned and walked away. Didn't yell. Didn't beg. Just left. Part May 15th Aftermath in the parking lot. I made it back to my car somehow. Don't even remember walking down the hallway or down the stairs. It was like my body was moving, but I was somewhere else. My hands were still shaking. My mouth was dry. I sat in the driver's seat, staring at the steering wheel like it owed me answers. And then I broke. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just this quiet, choking kind of sobbing, like all the air had been sucked out of my lungs. I remember gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. I couldn't even cry right. It was just stunned silence mixed with 1,000 emotions all crashing at once. Betrayal. Humiliation. Anger. Grief. And under all of it, this disgusting, hollow emptiness. Like a part of me had just died. I didn't call anyone. Didn't want to talk. I sat in that parking lot for over an hour. Eventually Buddy's face popped into my mind and I realized I needed to go home. He hadn't been walked. He'd be waiting by the door like he always did. I got home and there he was, wagging his tail like the loyal little legend he is. I dropped to the floor and hugged him, burying my face in his fur. He just licked my face like nothing was wrong. And you know what? In that moment I honestly loved the dog more than I'd ever loved any human being. Because he never lied. Never cheated. Never made me feel like I wasn't enough. I slept on the couch that night. Not because I had to, Alyssa didn't even come home. But because I couldn't bring myself to go into her bedroom. Her bedroom now in my mind. That space was tainted. The next morning I woke up and everything felt different. And not in the good way. Part June 15th Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl-Boss. The next morning she waltzed in around 9 a.m. like she'd just gotten back from yoga or some brunch with the girls. She was wearing the same damn clothes from the night before, no shame, no remorse, just that cold, detached look she'd perfected lately. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She looked at me, cocked her head, and said, we need to talk. Oh, now we need to talk? Cool. Cool. She sat across from me on the arm of the couch, legs crossed like she was doing me a favor by showing up for this conversation. No apology. No tears. Just vibes. And by vibes I mean pure narcissistic nonsense. I know you're upset, she started, but things have been bad between us for a while. You're not the same guy I married. You're distant. You don't challenge me. Everything's always the same with you. Work, dog, house, repeat. I literally laughed. So your solution was to some guy named Jay in a hotel room? She rolled her eyes. Rolled her eyes. You're being immature. I stood up. I couldn't sit anymore. I felt like if I stayed still, I'd explode. You lied to me for months, Alyssa. Months. You gaslit me every time I asked what was going on. You made me feel like I was going crazy. And now you're acting like it's my fault you cheated. She actually shrugged. I didn't feel seen. I needed something exciting. You don't understand what it's like to feel stuck. You felt stuck in our marriage, so you stuck yourself on top of someone else? Cool. That one got to her. For about 2 seconds she looked embarrassed. Then she went full deflect mode. You're blowing this way out of proportion, she said. It was a mistake. We can fix this. We just need therapy. Now she wants therapy? After weeks of secret sexcapades and treating me like an emotional punching bag? I didn't say anything else. I just walked out to the backyard, sat down on the steps with Buddy, and stared at the fence. My whole life, the life I thought we were building, felt like a burned-down house. And she wanted to throw counseling on it like a water bottle on a dumpster fire. Part 7 of 15, The Switch Flips. That morning was a turning point. Something inside me just snapped. I don't mean in a violent way or even an angry one. It was quieter than that. Like I stopped bleeding and started scarring over. Numb. Cold. Clear. While Alyssa was inside probably drafting some Pinterest-perfect healing journey script to sell me on therapy, I sat outside with Buddy, thinking about the last few years. All the birthdays I planned. The anniversaries I remembered when she didn't. The time I held her when her dad died. The late nights she'd cry over work stress and I'd talk her through it. All of it. Real, raw love, and she just flushed it. I walked back inside and found her in the kitchen scrolling on her phone. Probably texting Jay? Or her therapist. Who knows? I want you to leave, I said. She looked up startled. Excuse me. You heard me. You don't get to stay here. You don't get to sit in the home we built after tearing it down behind my back. Go stay at Jay's. Or a hotel. Whatever. Just get your stuff and go. She blinked. You're kicking me out of my own house? It's our house. And I'm not kicking you out. I'm asking you to leave so I don't completely lose my mind. She stood up, arms folded. You're being dramatic. You'll regret this. And there it was. The classic manipulator line. Like she's the main character and I'm just some footnote in her chaotic little redemption arc. I've regretted ignoring my gut for months. This feels like the first right move I've made. She stared at me for a few seconds, trying to read me maybe, and then stormed upstairs. Slammed drawers. Packed a bag. Stomped down the steps like a pissed-off teenager. Before she walked out, she looked at me and said, "You don't know how hard marriage is. Maybe when you grow up you'll figure it out." I didn't respond. She left. Buddy and I just stood at the door and listened to her car pull away. And then, silence. A heavy, beautiful, painful silence. Part 8:15, Hollow House? The first night without her was weird. Not peaceful, not painful. Just weird. I kept walking into rooms expecting her to be there. Reaching for 2 coffee mugs in the morning. Catching myself about to text her some random meme. All muscle memory. All hollow now? The house felt too big. Too quiet. Even with the TV on, it felt like someone had sucked the soul out of it. And I wish I could say I celebrated her being gone, that I danced around the living room blasting freedom anthems. But no. I just sat there. Mostly numb. Occasionally angry. Always exhausted. Buddy was the only thing that felt normal. He curled up next to me on the couch like he knew I needed someone to lean on. Honestly, if I didn't have that dog, I think I would have spiraled. He kept me grounded like, hey man, I still need food and walks and belly rubs. The world hasn't ended. I didn't tell anyone right away. I didn't want to deal with the questions. The pity. I wasn't ready to say it out loud. My wife cheated on me and lied to my face for months, and now I'm just sitting in a house full of memories trying not to scream. Eventually I called my older brother. He was quiet for a long time after I told him. Then he said, "Do you want me to come over?" That question almost broke me. Because yeah, I did want someone to come over. But I also didn't want anyone to see me like that. Wrecked. Stripped down to the wires. Not the dependable guy everyone knew me as. Just broken. So I said no. I'm good, man. Just needed someone to know. He told me he was proud of me for kicking her out. That I didn't deserve any of this. That I wasn't weak for feeling like crap. And hearing someone say that out loud felt like someone finally dropped a rope down into the pit I'd been sitting in. Still didn't sleep much that night. Just stared at the ceiling and wondered how long I'd been living with a stranger. Part September 15th, The Return of the Queen of Bullsh *T. 3 days. That's how long she stayed gone before popping back up like a bad sequel nobody asked for. I was in the middle of making scrambled eggs when I heard the knock. I looked through the peephole and there she was, standing on the porch with sunglasses on like she was hiding from paparazzi or shame. Probably both. I didn't open the door at first. Just stared at her. She knocked again. When I finally opened it, she gave me this weak little half-smile. Hey. No apology. No emotion. Just hey. Like we'd bumped into each other at Trader Joe's or something. What do you want, Alyssa? She sighed. Can we talk? I didn't say anything. Just stepped back and let her in. I don't know why. Curiosity? Closure? Maybe some masochistic part of me wanted to see how far she'd twist the knife. She sat down at the kitchen table like she still lived there and said, I've had a lot of time to think. I resisted the urge to say, 3 days, huh? That's all it took to reflect on blowing up a marriage. I miss you, she said. I miss us. Jay was a mistake. He doesn't mean anything. It was just a distraction. You and I have history. A life. That has to count for something. I stayed silent. Because if I started talking, I wasn't sure I'd be able to stop. She kept going like she was reading from a script she Googled under how to manipulate your husband back. I was in a bad place. I felt unseen. You weren't affectionate anymore. We stopped having real conversations. I needed to feel wanted again. But I realize now that I went about it the wrong way. The wrong way? You went about cheating the wrong way? What was the right way supposed to be? With less nudes and more poetry? Then she hit me with this gem, we can go to couples therapy. We can start fresh. I know we can fix this if we just try. That's when I stood up. I did try, I said. I tried when you shut down every time I asked what was wrong. I tried when I picked up your slack, supported you, gave you space. I tried while you were screwing Jay and laughing about me behind my back. She went quiet for a second. Then she pulled the nuclear move. Do you really want to throw away everything we've built over one mistake? I swear I saw red for a second. One mistake? You made a series of calculated decisions to lie to me, manipulate me, and cheat repeatedly. That's not a mistake, that's a goddamn campaign. She cried finally. But even the tears felt performative. Like she was more upset about being caught than what she did. I walked to the door and opened it. Go. She looked stunned. Seriously. Dead serious. Go. She left. And this time I didn't feel numb. I felt free. Part October 15th, the cleanup begins. After she left the second time, something shifted. The silence didn't feel heavy anymore, it felt like relief. Like breathing real air after months underwater. The first thing I did? Wash the sheets. Then the pillowcases. Then the guest room comforter she used whenever she was too tired to sleep in her bed. Yeah, I'm guessing why she was too tired now. Then I went full purge mode. I boxed up everything that reminded me of her. All the framed photos, trinkets from trips, the stupid his and hers mugs we got at some overpriced Etsy store during our honeymoon phase. Into a box. Into the garage. Out of my sight. I also canceled her Spotify account off our family plan. Petty? Absolutely. Therapeutic? Even more so. There was a playlist she used to play when she cooked. Some cheesy Boss Babe playlist with Dua Lipa and Lizzo. And I swear, the second I heard one note of it, I nearly threw my phone out the window. But instead, I calmly removed her access. She can ask Jay to pay for her premium now. The house still felt like hers in places. Her scent lingered on throw blankets and her face wash was still in the bathroom. But each thing I cleaned, tossed, or donated made the place feel a little more mine again. I rearranged the living room, bought a new set of bedsheets in a color she always said she hated. Took Buddy on a hike we used to do together and realized I enjoyed it more without her complaining about bugs or bad cell service. And here's the wild part. I started sleeping better. No tossing and turning. No wondering when she'd come home. No anxiety keeping me on high alert. Just sleep. Deep, dreamless, peaceful sleep. That first full night of uninterrupted rest was better than any therapy session. I still woke up sad sometimes. Don't get me wrong. The mornings were the hardest. That empty space in bed, the missing good morning text. Even if the affection had been fake near the end, I was still grieving the idea of her. But grief started making room for clarity. And that clarity felt good. Part 11/15, lawyer up. It didn't take long before the rational part of my brain kicked in and said, all right, man. Time to handle the real stuff. So I called a lawyer. I can't even tell you how weird it felt, sitting in that office or, well, Zoom call because number 2025. Talking to a total stranger about how to dismantle a life I'd spent almost a decade building. But my attorney was calm, sharp, and straight to the point. She didn't sugarcoat anything, and honestly, that was refreshing. When she asked if I had any proof of the affair, I just slid my laptop across the table and said, plenty, texts, screenshots, hotel receipts, time-stamped photos. It was like I accidentally became a one-man FBI sting operation. She looked through them and said, this is solid. Especially if you want to go the no-contest route. I nodded. I don't want revenge. I just want out. The biggest thing we had to sort was the house. Technically, both our names were on the mortgage. But guess who'd paid 80% of it over the past 3 years while she played pretend marketing girl boss? Me. I also made it clear I wanted full custody of Buddy. Might sound silly to some people. He's just a dog. But no, he's my family. My emotional support unit. The one being in this house who didn't lie to me with a smile. Turns out she had no real interest in fighting for him. Probably didn't want the inconvenience. Shocking, I know. The whole process was cleaner than I expected. Cold but clean. She tried a couple guilt-trippy texts in between, the classic, "I still love you," and "we could fix this if you stop being so stubborn" type stuff. But I didn't bite. My lawyer told me not to respond. I listened, and with every paper signed, every step forward, I felt a little lighter. It wasn't victory. It wasn't revenge. It was closure. And it tasted better than anything she'd cooked in the last year. Part 12/15. Rebuilding the guy in the mirror. So here I was, legally untangling myself from someone who used to be my everything. And somehow, in the middle of the chaos, I started finding myself again. I didn't expect it. Honestly, I thought I'd be curled up in the fetal position for months, watching reruns and eating cereal straight from the box. But once the legal stuff was in motion, once the daily anxiety of what fresh lie is she telling today was off my plate, I had room to breathe. I started going to the gym again, not to get revenge hot or whatever, but because I needed structure. I needed to feel strong somewhere, even if it was just under a barbell. And yeah, I may or may not have signed up for a boxing class purely to hit things without consequences. No regrets. I also started journaling, just brain dumping at night. I used to think it was some cheesy self-help nonsense, but you'd be surprised how powerful it is to write. "She's a manipulative, gaslighting liar." In big bold letters across a blank page, and feel it leave your chest. My appetite came back. I started eating real meals again, making stuff I liked, not just whatever kale smoothie crap she was into that week. Cooking felt like taking my kitchen back, like reclaiming space one garlic clove at a time. I reconnected with some old friends too. A couple of them had drifted over the years, probably because I'd been too wrapped up in trying to maintain a slowly sinking marriage. One buddy, Josh, took me out for wings and beer and didn't even bring up the divorce until I did. He just said, "I got you, man. Always did. Always will." That hit me harder than I expected. And then there was my playlist. Oh man, the divorce playlist. Angry bangers, sad boy acoustic stuff, the occasional "screw you" anthem. Blasting it in my car with the windows down became my therapy. Cathartic as hell. There were still hard nights. Still mornings where I'd wake up and instinctively reach for the other side of the bed, only to find it cold and empty. But that space, it started feeling less lonely and more like freedom. I wasn't healing to get her back. I was healing to get me back. Part 13/15. The final face-to-face. It had been about a month since she left for good. No more texts. No more random pop-ups. Just clean distance. I kept myself busy, kept my boundaries strong, and honestly, I was proud of that. I was doing the work. Then I saw her, totally by chance. I was grabbing coffee at this little spot downtown, the one we used to hit after farmers markets, which I now realize she hated but pretended to enjoy for clout. I was just standing there, buddy tied up outside, coffee in hand, waiting for a breakfast sandwich, and boom, there she was, walking in like it was a scene from some dumb rom-com reboot. Aviators, tight jeans, air of confidence that screamed, "I think I'm the main character." She saw me, paused, took the glasses off slowly, like she thought it was going to be this big moment. I stayed calm, just nodded. She smiled. "Hey, wow, you look different." Translation: "Why do you look like you've got your sh*t together without me?" I shrugged. "Yeah, been focusing on myself." She tilted her head. "You look really good." "Oh, do I? Shame you didn't notice when you were busy doing Jay's laundry in a hotel sink." I said, "Thanks," and took a sip of my coffee. I wasn't giving her a thing to feed on. No anger, no attention, just vibes and boundaries. She lingered. "I've been meaning to reach out." I cut her off. Calmly, kindly, firmly. "I don't think there's any reason to." She blinked, caught off guard. "I'm not mad," I said. "Not anymore. I'm not bitter. But I'm done. Really done. And I don't need closure or one last talk. I've got peace now. Please don't disturb that." She stood there, like she wanted to say something. Maybe some dramatic speech about how she still cared or missed me or blah blah blah. But for once, finally, she didn't have the power anymore. And she knew it. I grabbed my sandwich, gave her a polite nod, and walked out. Buddy wagged his tail like he'd just watched a boss-level move. And honestly, that moment felt like winning. Part 14/15. Life on the other side. So here I am now, a few months out from the wreckage, and honestly, it's strange how normal things have started to feel again. Except this version of normal feels better. Healthier. Like I've stepped out of a fog I didn't even know I was living in. The house is finally mine. I painted the bedroom a different color. A dark forest green she always said was too masculine, which made me like it even more. I rearranged the furniture, put up new art, bought a record player because I could. It's not just a place where I live now, it's a space that feels like me. Buddy's thriving, by the way. His energy has been through the roof lately. It's like he picked up on all the stress being gone too. We go on long walks every evening, sometimes just aimlessly through neighborhoods I never used to have time to explore. I swear that dog's been part of my therapy team this whole time. I started dating again. Nothing serious, nothing wild. Just dipping my toes in. Grabbed coffee with someone cool. Went to a trivia night with a girl who could actually name 3 countries that start with Z. It's nice being around people with no emotional landmines buried under every conversation. But even when I'm alone, I don't feel lonely anymore. And that's been the biggest shift. I used to think I needed Alyssa, that the history we shared somehow obligated me to hang on. But looking back, what we had was a house built on loyalty from one side and convenience on the other. It wasn't love anymore. It was habit wrapped in delusion. Now, I wake up with peace. I go to sleep without dread. I laugh more. I breathe deeper. I'm not waiting for someone to disappoint me or lie to my face while pretending they're still trying. I'm living, not surviving, not dragging myself through the day. Actually, living. And that realization, it hit harder than any of the heartbreak. Part 15:15, what I learned. So you don't have to. So yeah, that's the story. From blind trust to betrayal, from breakdown to rebuild, and somehow I came out the other side standing. Scarred, sure, but stronger, wiser, and way more honest with myself. If you're reading this because you're in a similar spot, wondering if the gut feeling you're having is real, or if you're just being paranoid like they keep saying, listen to me, trust your gut. Your instincts aren't lying. They're whispering the truth while someone else is screaming over them. Also, cheating isn't a mistake. It's a decision. 100 decisions actually to lie, to sneak, to choose their own gratification over your dignity. No one accidentally ends up in a hotel room. That's not a stumble. That's a *****ing marathon of selfishness. And if they try to gaslight you, to spin the blame back on you, rewrite history, minimize the pain, don't fall for it. That's not love. That's manipulation in a trench coat. It took me losing someone I thought I needed to realize how much of myself I'd been putting on hold just to keep the peace in a one-sided war. Yeah? I set boundaries. I say no. I value honesty over comfort and peace over fake stability. I don't romanticize potential anymore, I pay attention to patterns. That alone has changed my entire outlook on relationships. Final takeaway? Leave if you need to. Even if it's hard. Even if you're scared. You are allowed to walk away from what hurts you even if it once made you happy. Even if they swear it can be fixed. Some things don't need fixing. Some things need finishing. You'll be okay. I promise. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one morning you'll wake up and the first thing you'll feel won't be heartbreak. It'll be freedom. And that's worth everything. Thanks for sticking through the whole story. If even one person reads this and realizes they're not crazy, that they deserve better, then it was worth writing. Take care of yourself. And hug your dog. They always know. Me and Buddy Prince.